What's up, y'all? Oh, wait, let me redo that. What's up, y'all? I'm trying to figure out what's going on with my. There we go. Hold on, because I need to turn this. Hey, lady, I don't know who that is. Let me turn my do not disturb it on. Let me just. Can y'all hear me? I need to make sure y'all can hear me. Hello, everyone. I'm gonna just wait for a few more people to join. And then I'm gonna add our special guest, y'all. I'm so excited. While we are waiting, first of all, while we're waiting, let me go ahead and play the song of this lovely person that's gonna join my live today. We're gonna have her music playing in the background. Can y'all hear that? Hey y'all, hey girl. I need to turn it down because I got some announcements before I actually officially start, y'all. So, first announcement, if y'all did not see on my story, I am booking, or I'm almost completely booked for January for interviewing local entrepreneurs. So, I will be starting to, book people for February as well. If y'all know anybody, local entrepreneurs, they can sing, they can dance, do hair, make clothes, whatever it is that they do. If y'all know somebody, okay, y'all go ahead and let them know that I'm looking for people to interview. All right. And I think I have like 3 more slots for January, and then I'm gonna be booking for February. So stay tuned for that. Also in February, I'm going to be having a panel for people that do credit repair. So stay tuned for that. I'm gonna have to finalize some details, but I'm planning on having a panel for people that's doing that does credit repair. So, with tax season and everything coming in, y'all should know about credit repair. So I got a few people that's been asking me about it, and I'm going to bring that. So we're going to be doing that in February. And then I felt like there was one more announcement, but I can't really think of that. I'm about to bring to y'all, okay, if y'all can't hear her music, hold on, let me turn it up a little bit. Y'all hear this voice? Okay? She has an amazing voice, y'all, and she's about to be on my live, and I'm so excited, y'all. This is my first ever interview live on my Instagram. Usually I record them and then I add them to my YouTube, or I post them on YouTube, but this is the first ever live interview for y'all. So I'm excited about that. Not only is she a singer, but she also is a CEO of her own organization called Religion of the Mind, and is bringing self-awareness and awareness to mental health in African American women. Because our queens, yes, our mentality, our mental health matters. So let me go ahead and add her to this, y'all. I'm excited. This is my first time doing it. Did you do it? Did it add? Let me try it one more time. Hello.
Hi.
How are you?
Good. Hold on, let me adjust. I thought I was in position. Okay. How are you? Can you see me good?
Yeah, I can see you. Can you see me?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, let me move this back a little bit. There we go.
All right. So, everybody, I want y'all to give a very, very warm welcome to Miss Jazzmin to my
Hey,
show.
hey.
Hey, how's it going?
Pretty good. Don't know what to do with myself. I'm out of school until January 8th, so I've just kind of been looking at the wall and stuff. So, trying to figure life out, but I'm good.
I understand. I've been working like every single day, but when I'm not working and I have an off day, I'm like, okay, what do I need to do?
Yeah, exactly.
So, first and foremost, go ahead and introduce yourself. Give a little bit
Okay.
introduction to you.
Well, I'm Jazzmin. I also go by Jazzy, which is my artist name. I am a single mom and I am in school for clinical mental health. So that's something that's important to me. And I have an organization, as mentioned, Religion of the Mind, which is a self awareness and self growth organization for Black women. So we have events centered around mental health. We have a mental health group. It's 144 members on Facebook, so
Ooh.
and growing. So it's been in operation for 2 years now. I still call myself a early butter, so it's working and prospering and doing good so far.
Yeah, that's nice. 2 years. That's great so
Mm.
far. I'm
Yeah,
glad to hear
thank you.
that.
Thank you.
What exactly does religion of the mind mean? Because I know when I think of religion, I always think about, God
Mhm.
and, praising and worshiping God. So what does religion of the mind mean to you?
Okay, so I was on the fence about naming it that because I was like, oh, it could be a little controversial. But the definition of religion is faith. So to have faith in self, to have faith in self awareness, to have faith in your mind. A lot of times we don't realize, like, if even in religion, it says that we are in the image of God. So I want people to realize their power, take back their power, and just hone in on self awareness. So that's what it means.
Right. Oh man, I like that. I love that. The idea of faith, just in general, when you think about religion, because I know there's a stigma that, like I said, religion, God, and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's very awesome. I know you said it was about 2 years ago that you started your organization, but do you have an exact date and around what time you started the organization?
Yeah, so February, what is this? 2020? Yep, so February 2021 was when I kind of took a shift. I actually started out in some of everything, as most people figuring out entrepreneurship do. So I was making candles. I was doing shirts, like inspirational shirts. I had a shirt that said, "Why stress when you can manifest?"
Mm-hmm.
And kind of just figuring it out. And I realized I don't really want to make merchandise all the time. And then people were I was getting a lot of questions behind manifestation, behind some of the products that I was making,
Mm-hmm.
where people just I realized there was a need to know self more. So I kind of leaned into that. And I started with the first event we had was a bonfire release. So I rented a bonfire and we just released all of our stuff. Like we went there, it was an open space where people can just vent.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a lot of tears, it was a lot of transparency, and I realized like this is needed.
Yeah.
So from there, it kind of just catapulted into multiple events, and I use a lot of techniques that I learned in psychology, such as trauma mapping. We do a lot of journaling. We do a lot of self-talk and identifying with each other and where we are in life. So it's been really good.
Yeah. Uh, when did that bonfire happen?
That was November 7th of 2021. Yeah.
Ooh, it was cold outside, I
It was, but it wasn't too bad actually. Now that I think about it, because I remember we didn't have coats like that. We just had like sweaters and stuff. So I think it was kind of a mild day. But it ended up being really, really good, and I got some good feedback, which is some of the stuff that I posted in the video. And
bet.
just I saw a need, and it became something that I was passionate about. I've been through a lot of stuff, and I feel like I wanted to create the community that I feel like I needed.
Yeah. So, why do you feel like self-awareness is very important to Black women? Because I know that's the target audience for your organization.
Well, in general, self awareness is important, and self actualization is actually one of our basic needs.
Mm-hmm.
We always focus on survival and food and water and shelter, but self actualization, realizing the best of yourself, is actually a need. So I wanted to. I feel like Black women in particular have a harder time with that because we have so much on us on a daily basis. And we're taught that strength is suppression, but it's not. So I kind of wanted to debunk that myth and lead with open and honest talks that can kind of lead us to that self-fulfillment.
Yeah. I feel like that's not talked about enough in our community. I know we talk a lot about how um, black men are raised to suppress their emotions as well, but I feel like black women are also taught that because if we're too vocal, we're seen as the angry black woman, or
Yeah.
like we're very combative. So yeah, I definitely appreciate you starting this organization because it's definitely needed in our
Thank
community.
you. Thank you.
Yeah. So I know you said, or you told me that you have children. How many kids do you have?
I have two girls, a 6-year-old and an 8-year-old.
Ooh.
Yes. It's fun though. We don't say ooh, it's fun. These are the good
I
years.
mean, I think six and eight is probably like around that fun parenting time. Once they start getting older, it's like more difficult.
Yeah. It's
But
it's
definitely.
definitely it comes with its challenges. My 8-year-old is already acting like a little sassy teenager. So it comes with its challenges, but I also believe in transparency in parenting. So a lot of times, we're raised to stay in the child's place and this is
Right.
grown folks' business or just do what I said. Like I don't believe in that type of conversation and that verbiage. So even if it's something like I'm not saying I'm a perfect parent because there's no manual, obviously. But if I feel like I did something wrong, like if I do yell, it's like, you know what, hey, I was wrong. Like I'm sorry for yelling at you. I could have talked to you better. And I believe that creates kind of a different dynamic in that parenting relationship.
Yeah. I was definitely about to ask you about that because I do understand, especially with the black community, there's this stigma with parenting that, you have to get whoopings to be
Mm.
respectful. It's either a whooping or you're always getting yelled at. So what are some of the techniques that you bring to your kids with parenting?
Patience. Patience. That is one of the biggest ones. And I'm not going to sit here and say that it's always 100% accurate. Sometimes there is some apologies, like I said, for the yelling. But I show humanity in my parenting and I let them know this is the first time that I've been your mom, just like this is the first time that you've been my daughter's. So there's going to be some error, but I'm going to always respect you as humans.
Right.
So we kind of just talk on that level. And when they hear that, they respond differently. So they're not always little angels and just walk around with little halos, but they get it and they'll come back and say, you know what, mom, I'm sorry for the way I acted, or I'm sorry for this. And just building that bond of transparency and humanity, I feel like has really helped strengthen our relationship. I didn't have a good relationship with my mom in the beginning, well,
Yeah.
for most of my life. So it was kind of important to me to kind of heal that. So it's been
Yeah.
working so far. I don't know about teenage years, but so far so good.
Yeah. Do you feel like it's harder to break, or has it been hard for you to break that cycle, with that parenting style that you grew up with?
It's been harder to break it with my mom. Healing and forgiving my mom was a hard journey for me.
Mm.
And I can say now, after how in my 34 years, so we are on a great track. This is the most um, open and honest and loving we've been with each other. We were just dancing the other night, which I always used to look at girls on their page on Mother's Day. That's like, oh, that's my bestie. That's my best friend. I'm like, yeah. So it feels good to have that friendship with my mom,
Hmm.
and to realize that, time can heal and discussion can heal. So
Yeah.
yeah, it was a hard journey and sometimes still is, but I just know I want it to be better for my kids. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Is it hard dealing with that type of ideology or learning from that ideology and then also being a single mother?
Mm, it gets stressful, but I do have a lot of support. Like, so me and my ex-husband have a very cordial relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Um, a lot of people are like, oh, I don't, how do y'all do that? And how do y'all talk to each other like that? And how are y'all, like, we ain't cool. Like, where we hanging out, but we have a mutual agreement that we want life to be solid and complete for the kids. So
Right.
we don't have any issues. We don't have any drama. We just co-parent and we make it about the kids. The other day, I actually, well, this was my mom's request that she told me last minute, but I actually had a family dinner with my ex-husband and my current boyfriend. So the whole family was just there, but it was actually, I had a lot of anxiety about it, but it actually was very smooth.
Okay.
And it was
I was
just,
just about to ask, how was that?
yeah, it was, I think the anxiety before was worse than the actual dinner because when I got there, it just flowed seamlessly because we don't have drama. It's not like, I feel like a lot of people have drama when there's unfinished business or,
Right.
you still trying to, sleep with each other. But it was just seamless. So I can appreciate both sides for that. And I just feel like it comes with the maturity and the acknowledgement in each other. Like everybody is on a path of growth and trying to grow themselves. I feel like that's part of it that makes it so seamless.
Yeah, that's good though. That's cool. I know a lot of people aren't able to have that type of relationship with their child's father.
Baby daddy. Yeah.
I was trying to be, grammatically correct.
Mm-hmm. Well,
But
you can
yes.
say baby daddy, girl. You can say baby daddy.
Yeah, but that's cool. Especially within our Black community, I like to see when people are actually cordial and can co-parent. That's nice.
Yeah.
So what are some of the things that you do with your children to help them learn or to teach them about their self-awareness and mental health?
Well, one, I tell them I love them every single day. They get annoyed, but it's very important to me that they know that there's love here and acceptance here. So we do a lot of affirmations, self-affirmations, even when it's like homework or something. They're like, oh, I can't do this. And can't is a word that we don't say in my household. So like that's something that we don't approve of. So I'm like, you're not supposed to say that you can't. Like just say that you can't. You not yet. So we're learning. So things like that. Also just opening the door with tough conversations. Like if I realize that they're feeling some type of way or they're having a difficult time, just making that seamless and making it where they feel like they could come to me. That's one of the things. And then sharing myself with them. My daughter, my oldest daughter, is very much so into music, kind of like me. Like she loves. It's so cool because like she'll hear a song and she's like, "Did you hear the drums?" And I'm like, "Yes, yes, I did." So just finding those things in your kids that you can share, I feel like is important because that's your thing. Like with me and my youngest daughter, like she has things that, well, she's really into music too, actually, and she could sing. So my oldest daughter, not so much, but she's into art, which I also draw and paint. So we bond that way too. So it's just finding things that cross, what's the word? Like cross sector, I guess. And building upon that and actually building a friendship with your kids. I feel like, we're always told like, oh, I'm not your little friend, but it's like, oh, you're my little friend, like you could be my little friend. I'm still your mom, but you could be my little friend. So just having a friendship and a bond and not just an authoritative role, I feel like.
Yeah, definitely. That I think a lot of parenting styles, not just with women and their children, but like also with fathers and their children, they have that I'm a parent, you're a child, stay in your place type of thing. They talk down to us. Even now, I feel like, and I love my mom to death, but I feel like she doesn't see me as an adult sometimes. So, Mom, I'm 26 now, so I am an adult. So
Yeah, I understand that. My mom, that was kind of, well, is kind of the last layer we're breaking. We've healed things from the past, so I've forgiven my mom for a lot of things that I'm done with that. But just the communication where it's like, okay, like you're still communicating, like we're in those things still in an unhealed manner. So just finding that mutual respect for each other. it's been really good, and this is funny because it's actually changed a lot of things in my life. Like I feel like now that me and my mom good, I don't care what happens to the world. Like we're me and my mama good, so
Yeah.
it's just different. Like it unlocks so much in you as a woman when you have a good relationship with your mom, and that's
Right.
something that I've been wanting forever. So it's
Well,
really nice.
congratulations to that
Thank
because
you.
I know gotta put in the work to make it happen.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
that's good. So I know you talked about a little about the things that you do with your kids to check in with their mental health, but what do you do for yourself to keep your mental health in check?
Well, in full transparency, I feel like I struggle with that sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
I journal, so that does help. But a lot of times I don't have an outlet. Like I don't, a lot of people come to me for advice, and I feel like that's one of the downsides of going into psychology and therapy is like everybody comes to you as the source, and it's like, well, who do I go to? But
Right.
I can say that recently, as of last week, I just got into therapy.
Okay.
So I'm super excited about that. I feel like every therapist needs a therapist.
Right.
So that is somebody that I am going to be talking to through my things and just finding other tactics when I do have hard moments, because we all have hard moments no matter how much therapy you do or how much you heal yourself. There's always something to rediscover or to refigure out and new things. So I feel like therapy is not in a admission of something's wrong. It's a mature way of realizing that you need somebody to talk to. So those are the things that I'm currently doing. Also, music. Music is my outlet. I put my heart into music, and a lot of times I don't. I'm gonna be honest. Like I used to think I wanted to be Beyonce, but I don't want to be Beyonce no more. I'm 34, and it's
Yeah.
just like I got kids. So music has been kind of a gray area for me. I love to write, but I'm just trying to figure out what I want to do with that.
Mhm.
And sometimes it's stressful because I'll put something out and people are like, oh, put something else out. This was great. And it's like, oh, this was just a part of my diary. Like, so finding my why with music lately has been a little challenging, but that's what I'm gonna talk to my therapist about. So yeah.
um, do you journal every single night?
No, not at all. I journal when I remember to journal, or if it's something that I'm really having a problem with. I also write poetry, so sometimes I just need to get my thoughts out. That's my best way of expressing myself. So when
Mhm.
I need it, I do it.
Okay. Yeah. I try to push myself to journal every night just to do like a reflection of the day.
Mhm.
But I feel like I end up being so busy that I end up forgetting and then I start to beat myself up because I'm not journaling like I want to. So
Yeah.
trying to find that balance. I don't know. I don't
I've
really know.
found for me, a lot of those things are traps. Like
Mhm.
you make traps for yourself to make yourself feel like you're not accomplishing. And I realize I do that a lot. Like I'll say, "Oh, well, you didn't meditate 5 times this week, and you didn't," and it's like you start to self doubt and tell yourself all these negative things, and it's like,
Right.
no, I'll do it when I need to do it, or I'll do it when I feel like it's right, and I'll do it enough till it becomes habit.
Mhm.
Because sometimes you could trick yourself into not doing it at all because you feel like you're not meeting your own quota.
Right.
So for me, it's just okay, cool. I journaled today. Like we're gonna try to do that again. If we don't, okay, we're gonna try again. But just
Mhm.
not putting those hard stipulations on yourself.
Right.
Mm.
Yeah. I agree. I like know it mentally. I just gotta actually apply it.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, I understand.
so I know you said that you've been through some traumatic experiences yourself. And with the questionnaire that I sent, you said that you felt like you went through it alone. And I just kind of want to know why you felt like you went through it alone. Like, did you not absolutely have nobody there, or do you feel like you have to handle stuff by yourself?
Well, because I did go through it alone. um,
Hmm.
so I had a very troubled relationship with my mom, as I mentioned.
Hmm.
I grew up in the suburbs, like the for high school part of my life.
Right.
Um, so we moved out there, and everything was different. And my mom just was a very strict parent. She was very strict, and to the point where it's like, oh, you didn't clean the dishes, you are grounded for this, or you didn't clean the cup, you're grounded for this, or. And then once I got older, it was you didn't finish the dishes, you're out of my house.
Mm.
And a lot of times I didn't have anywhere to go, and I kind of learned very quickly about just how I want to put it. I was just out on my own a lot. And being young, I would post things on Instagram about, I'm going through, I don't have anywhere to stay. My mom just put me out. And of course, guys are in your DMs like, oh, you can stay with me and you can come over here and I'll take care of you. And I was very green. Honestly, I didn't know a lot of stuff about the city. I didn't know a lot of stuff about men. And I got taken advantage of quite a bit. And it took a toll on me because it started making me feel like I didn't have any self-worth, and I just was in a very dark place. And a lot of that I went through on my own. And it just was really hard to bounce back from. It took me a long time to actually feel my self-worth again and to heal from those things. So
yeah, dang, I'm sorry to hear that.
no, it's okay. I've dealt with it. I've processed it. Wrote a song about it actually that I want to put out next year, called "You Don't Know Me," because a lot of times I felt like people kind of went off my past, especially in the music industry. I got taken advantage of a lot through that, which is a whole nother story. It's very much male dominated, and it's very much how you see on TV, where men have power trips and they try to make you feel like you owe them something. So I just wanted to speak on that because I feel like we don't talk about it enough, and that's something that I want to talk about in music. So hopefully, I'll be dropping that next year.
Yeah, around what time next year?
I'm thinking around my birthday, which is the end of January.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm a January baby too. So
okay. All right, January. Are you a January? Like, are you a Capricorn? Are you a
Aquarius?
Ah.
Yeah.
I like you even more.
When's your birthday?
January 27th.
Oh, you see, I'm the 25th. So
okay. I like that.
Yeah.
I like that for us.
I love that for us.
Yeah.
So yeah, again, I'm very sorry that you had to go through all that by yourself. I mean, I understand sometimes things happen for a reason. I know that's kind of like a cop out type of answer, but it made you the person that you are today. So
I honestly feel that way. And my therapist told me, she asked me why I wanted to go into women's counseling. And I kind of told her some of the things I told you in more detail. And she was like, I asked you that because usually therapy or counseling chooses you. You don't choose counseling.
Right.
And I kind of resonated with that because I felt like all the stuff that I went through in my life, like, that's why I feel like I'm qualified to help people. Yes, I'm still getting, my master's degree.
Right.
But this speaker that I like, he actually said, you have a PhD in pain. And I feel like I do. I have a PhD in pain, from divorce to, being taken advantage of, to being by yourself, like to self-doubt, kind of all of it. So that I feel like that puts me in the lane of counseling.
Right. What was the point, or at what point did you feel like where you could actually see some of the results from you putting in the work? Like, oh yeah, I am getting better type of thing.
Well, the easiest litmus test is my kids. So once you kind of see the stuff that you put in being regurgitated back to you, it's like, okay, like this is growth, this is healing, this isn't just like, oh, we're breaking generational curses. It's like, no, this is really happening in front of you. So it's kind of cool to see that, and it kind of gives you that drive to keep going. Also, when I see consistency in myself, like I know myself very well, so I know like when we get to the point of consistency where it's like, okay, we're serious about this. And the one thing that I've been extremely serious about and consistent with is my organization. Now, in the beginning, I kind of was going the typical route, which is nothing wrong with that. But you know, people they're always telling you, oh, you should do conferences and you should do high ticket offers and you should do this. And I was like, yeah. And at first, I'm like, yeah, that's yeah, we can make this our business. But I had an ethical dilemma, and I kept trying to not hear the ethical dilemma because I'm around entrepreneurs that are like, oh, you have to, you know, put value on this. But I realized there's a difference between profit and passion, and profit and purpose. And I feel like my organization is my passion purpose work, and then actually being a licensed therapist would be my profit work. So I wanted to have something it's a love offering that I give freely, especially to those that I feel need it the most. Not all of us, I mean, we can barely pay for groceries right now. So not all of us can afford, you know, mental health. And it's like, I don't want to be another person where it's like, hey, I really want to get my life together or have somebody to talk to or have an organization, but I don't have $599 to spend on it. So that's more of my passion work. But yes, I will be doing licensed counseling as my career. So yeah.
Okay. All right. So your organization is a nonprofit then.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Cool. I like that. Not, I mean, I like the fact that you're passionate about it instead of just looking at dollar signs.
Yeah. But sometimes, I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, everybody's different. And I would never look at people that, you know, are for profit any differently. It's just for me and my journey, I just didn't want to do that.
Right. I understand. I'm sorry.
Oh, you're fine.
So I know you said that again, you're passionate about mental health and all that. How do you see, what you just being an individual, how do you see mental health affecting our community?
Well, we're kind of stuck. I feel like it's hard because you wonder, like, will we ever collectively all get it as a people, where we're all healing and we're all doing the work and we can move forward. And I can't speak for that or if we'll see it in our lifetime, but it definitely has a hold. Some of the things we do to release have a hold, and I I witness it. I've lived it, and I just feel like there's other options out there. I'm not saying don't go out and party because I like to party and I like to do, you know, little stuff, but it's just you need to know who you are. You need to know who you are to the core. You need to know your why. You need to know what makes you tick, why you do the things you do. And I feel like that has a huge effect on the way you live your life.
Right.
And if you have no idea who you are, like what are you doing? You know, like why are you doing it? So I just feel like it's imperative for us as Black people to know who we are and to know where we come from, to know just the core of us as a people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. With that being said, I know your organization is for Black women. Would you ever open up to Black men as well, or like have a spin-off type of group for Black men?
I've thought about it, but I don't know how well it would be received. Like I feel like I'm not opposed to it, but I also feel like Black men need Black men.
Right.
Even the community is used to women telling Black men what they need to do and Black men telling Black women what they need to do. But it's like there needs to be healing on that side collectively too.
Yeah.
But I'm not opposed. I am thinking about doing some mother-daughter stuff though.
Ooh.
Yeah, I'm looking into that. I've actually talked to my mom about doing that with me. So.
Oh, okay. Like sometime next year type of thing, or
Oh, we
like
haven't put a
just
date on it. Yeah, we still healing. We still healing our relationship. So once we feel like we're on a solid ground, then
right.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I think that would be dope too. Like I said, I know there's a lot of traumatic experiences with mothers and daughters, especially with mothers that grew up well, I feel like we grew up with a generation with parents that had like the very traditional way of thinking.
Yeah.
Uh, you know, it's not so much prevalent nowadays as being super, super strict.
Hmm.
So there's a lot of us that need a lot of the healing. But I think the mother daughter idea would be super cool. So I second that, and
Yeah.
hopefully that comes out because I would like that. So you are currently still in school right now, correct?
Yep.
You planned on being a therapist, do you plan on having your own practice or just being with another organization with that?
The goal is my own practice. I have big goals. So the top three goals is my own practice, to create my own theory, and to
Mhm.
have a TED Talk. So those are my top three.
Okay. TED Talk about mental awareness, just in
Yeah,
general
I
or
probably
specific?
want. So I feel like the theory would come before the TED Talk.
Hmm.
So I want to have a. I've watched. We've had so many TED Talks we've had to watch during the course of school, and I kind of just want to create something that stays in psychology. So that's like a personal goal for me.
Okay. Yeah, you do got some big goals. But
Hmm.
yeah.
Yes.
Is there anything that you learned from your psychology classes or courses that have helped you run your organization?
Yeah, I learned a lot about people, emotional awareness, kind of taking it. So I always want people to be like ready. Like I want people to be like, oh yeah, like I'm ready to grow. Like I'm looking for people that's ready. But I realize that's not always the case. Like even with some of my events, like I have events and people say, oh, I'm gonna come, and people don't come, and it's just like, hmm. But I realized one girl told me like I literally haven't left the house in a long time. I kind of feel, not myself. And I'm like, we're dealing with, people that have real anxiety, people that don't feel comfortable in their bodies, all types of things. So just realizing where people are, that has helped me. And then one of the things that's helped me personally, we had a class where we had to learn about attachment styles,
Ooh.
which was very interesting. But it went over different attachment styles that people have. I had to take a test, and I was like, "Ooh, like I love personality tests.
Yeah.
Like I'm so quick to take a test. So when I find one that's like really like based in psychology, I was like, oh yes, this is gonna be awesome." And
Hmm.
then it told me I had a fearful, avoidant attachment style, and it was like, oh, okay. So it was very monumental though, because it told me that it started with my mother, which is actually what started me to um, take more of a stance in making sure I healed that relationship. So it's just teaching me a lot about where people can be
Yeah.
mentally, and how to approach where you are. So per se, like I realize, some people don't want are not comfortable yet meeting different women, but still want to be a part. So January 6th, we're having a meet and greet Zoom call where everybody can kind of just vibe, meet each other, and you can stay at home. And that way you're still a part of the community, still meeting people, and it kind of takes out that first layer of anxiety. So just learning different tactics to reach people has been really helpful.
What is it? So you said there's a attachment style that you learned that you have. What was it
Yeah,
again?
fearful avoidant attachment style. They said that it was based off of my relationship with my mother,
Hmm.
where I have trust issues. I don't trust a lot of people, and I realized that, which I had to talk to my boyfriend about, and we kind of had like this whole trust exercise thing. But just realizing that a lot of when you don't deal with stuff, it bleeds over into other areas of your
Right.
life. So, since my relationship with my mother wasn't properly filed away,
Hmm.
it kind of bled into every area, like my friendships and my relationship. And it's just like I'm always on the defense of one foot in, one foot out. Like, well, if you leave me, I'm fine. I'm good. Like, we standing on 10 toes down, like
Right.
just always having that stance of like, yeah, you can leave, it's fine. Like, and realizing that that's not healthy, and realizing that you like hearing myself do it more And once I put a name to it, it's like, wow, that's exactly what it is. And yeah, those reasons make sense.
Yeah.
So it really helped me to kind of do more work because now I have a name to it. I know what it is, and I know some tactics to help it.
Oh, okay. That's nice.
Mm-hmm.
I want to learn a little bit more about the attachment styles.
Oh,
Uh,
I'll send you the test, girl. You gotta
yeah,
be ready
please
for it
do.
because it's good. It's good. It had me looking at the screen like I wasn't ready to unpack all this, but okay.
Yeah, I've been doing a lot of self-awareness myself
Mm.
within this past like year or so. So there are some relationships that I felt like I was never going to be able to mend. It was always just like, I don't care if it works out. If it do, it do. If it don't, it don't. But I'm not putting any effort into it. But I realized that I was holding on to a lot of the emotions that came with that.
Mm.
Um, so I had to speak to certain people, not for them, but for myself, because I had a lot of healing to do. So,
Yeah, they always say like forgiveness is for you. Like
yeah.
I had to forgive, and then you have to forgive with no expectation, and that was hard for me. Forgiving my mom and going into that knowing like, okay, she may say some off the wall stuff, or she may not give you the response you're looking for. How are you going to deal with that? And just being neutral is extremely difficult. But through tears and like it's hard because when I talk to my mom, I always feel like that child,
Yeah.
and it takes me back to such a vulnerable place. But forgiving her unconditionally, where I told myself like at this moment, anything in the past is done.
Mhm.
Like I will never like not forgive you on the things that happened in the past. Now, if you do some stuff moving forward, we might have to talk about it. But the past stuff, I let go. And you don't like you do it for you. Like for me, I do it for my kids. Like I had to release that because there was so much anger that I
Yeah.
was carrying and so much just fear. It was just a lot of fear in my relationships, like just everything. So
Yeah. That's beautiful. I'm happy for you. Again, I'm gonna keep saying that because I feel like people don't really understand the self journey aspect of it, but I'm completely happy for you for that.
thank you.
So I'm not sure if you've seen on my past lives, but I've been talking about double standards recently. Do you feel like there's any double standards that exist between mental health or people that deal with mental health issues and then normal or other people? So, like people that are dealing with social anxiety or depression, do you think there's any type of double standards?
Can you expound? Like, what do you mean by double standards?
So, like, some people think that people that have depression, how they, or they'll see somebody or somebody will say that they have depression and then they'll automatically think like, oh, they might be cutting themselves or, um, their place is like super dark or super messy or something like that. Um, and then they kind of stay away from people that are depressed because they're seen as negative, but that's not always the case. Do you think there's any double standards though with your experience, I guess, dealing with people?
Um, I
So,
feel like now it's become there's more awareness around it.
mm,
It's more in the past, yes. Like when we looked at even going to therapy, it's like, oh, they got a problem. Like,
right.
oh, there's, something's really wrong. But now it's kind of, which is good to see, that we're kind of looking at it from a real and raw perspective. You can have, there's a difference between depressed moments and
Yeah.
chronic depression. There's a difference between having an anxious moment and having anxiety. So I feel like there's more knowledge out there, and there's more awareness around it, which makes it not so many double standards, as you say.
Okay. All right. So we talked a lot about mental health awareness in your organization surrounding that. I want to move into a little bit of your singing career. I saw on Instagram that you
Career.
had.
Go
I
ahead.
mean, it's still technically a career, you know. It's
Okay, all right,
a
all right. I won't downplay myself. I won't.
D.
I'm working. I'm working through that actively.
Working through that. Okay. But you performed at, I think it said Damn Jam. Definitely.
Hmm.
How was that experience for you?
Freeing. It was very freeing. So I actually performed at Damn Jam with my brother. My brother, he like I would say career from my brother. Um, he got really big off of TikTok
Hmm.
and went viral and actually had management and started doing music videos and everything. So we made a song together, and that's the song that I performed at Damn Jam. So it was very different because normally, first of all, I have stage fright.
Yeah.
I get super nervous to that point. You know, where you like have that little tickle in your throat and you just feel really like, oh my God. So yeah, that's me. So when he asked me, my first thought was to say no, but instead I said yes. And I decided, you know what, we're just going to push ourselves through this because this is crippling.
Mm,
And we care about music. Like, although I don't know exactly what I want from music anymore, I love music. I have a studio at home, I
mm,
record all the time. Just write, it's my journal. Like, that's me journaling, that's me talking about what I've been through.
mm.
So I still like that aspect of it, but it was very hard because it wasn't just like, oh yeah, we're gonna ease into this. It was like, no, it's a festival, and it's
Yeah.
like, okay. So it was different, but
Uh-huh.
getting up there. First of all, my kids were there in the front, in the little front row, so that was cool, and that kind of really helped me because seeing them and they were like ready, like, oh my gosh, mom, and it's like,
So
okay.
cute.
So once I started, it just felt so good and it felt natural, and it was an adrenaline rush.
Mhm.
So, and then also it's like, oh wow, we actually got out of our own way. So it was a big moment for me, and doing it with my brother, like, it was awesome.
Yeah. Would you do it again?
I would definitely do it again. I would definitely actually do any gig again. I feel like it kind of took that level of fear out, and it's like, well, you did it before, so you can do it again.
Right.
Mhm.
What's one of your favorite songs that you have written so far?
Right now, it's the song that I haven't put out yet. You Don't Know.
Mm-hmm.
It's my favorite to date because it's so personal and it's very raw. Um, and it's kind of my statement of me now. Letting go of the person I was before, letting go of those ideas of who I was before, and telling people, like, you don't know me. You don't know the things I've been through. You don't know the woman that I've become. You don't have access to the woman I've become. And
Right.
it's kind of this you know, my coming out statement of my healing journey. So I
Mm-hmm.
really like that song. And then, hmm. So it's actually a interlude that I did, or like the beginning of the album, and it's called Royalty. So that was on my Fruition album. That's my favorite because I literally just was like in the kitchen humming, and one of my favorite songs was "Did You Ever" by Nas and R. Kelly.
Okay.
And it's like, did you ever think that you would be this rich? Did you ever think that you would have these kids? So that's my jam. Like, we know R. Kelly, whatever. But that's my jam. So I was in the kitchen, and in the beginning they have a part that's like, it's like da 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 da. You gonna get this money. Da, da,
Mhm.
da, 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 da. So I was just jamming to it, and I started making my own little, like, no matter what they say you do, we gonna get this money. And I just like made my own little vibe to it. And it was like, look at all they stole from you to distract from your royalty. And I was like, okay. So I put that together, and I'm like, well, I don't have a beat to this, and I can't take that beat because, that's copyright infringement.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I'm gonna just beatbox. So I beatboxed and made my own beat, and it's just acapella with vocals and beatboxing. That was the first time I did that, but it just felt so like cool. So that's actually my favorite song, even though it's just an interlude.
Yeah, I try. I can't beatbox for nothing. I'll try a little bit, but it just it doesn't. It sounds much better in my head than when I actually try to do it. So, Oh man. Um, how would you describe your sound or the style of music that you make?
Um, I would describe it as well, at one point I was saying affirmation music. But I kind of just do what I feel, honestly. Some of my inspirations are, of course, Janae. Um, I love, love, love Doja Cat, and I know people look at her as so controversial, but sis is fire because she does so many theatrical things with her voice that makes the track full. And I come from, church background, of course, so I like a full sound. Like I'm one of the people that layers my beats and layers my vocals.
Mhm.
Um, I like ad libs. I will super put ad libs everywhere that fills those little pockets of sound. So those are the type of things that I like and that I like in artists.
Mhm. I will say I listened to the samples that you sent me, or like the two songs that you sent me, and
Mm-hmm.
I even looked on your page too and looked at some of your music. I really like the fact that a majority of your songs actually have a message behind it. I mean, your songs are also fun too, but I feel like we are missing, this generation is missing a lot of music that actually has a positive message behind it. So I applaud you for that because your voice is great, the lyrics are great, the message is great. So I just wanted
Thank
to tell
you.
you that. You're welcome.
Yeah, making me blush. Thank you. Thank you.
um, if you had to collab with somebody, who would it be?
Drake, does I know. Honestly,
Drake?
yeah, I'm a huge Drake fan. Just because like the artistry and people would say what they want to say about Drake and oh he's not this and he's in the artistry is top tier. Like he's a top tier artist. He puts a lot in his art. He puts a lot in his arrangements. Like it's just top tier. But when I think about collaborations, I actually think about producers and writers because that's writing is everything to me. So some of the producers and writers I would want to collab with is Ty Dolla Sign, which Ty Dolla Sign writes for a lot of some of the artists we like Janae and SZA and Kaylani. Um, Even sometimes you can hear him in the background on the track. So he does a lot in the industry. Jeremiah is somebody that I used to really, really want, and actually I still do because he's awesome. The Dream, because he's also a great writer and producer. And last would be Hit Mecca, Young Bird. So those are some of the people that I like. I really follow their music and follow their career,
Mhm.
and just respect them as creatives.
Okay. I didn't even know Ty Dolla Sign was out here like that, to be honest.
Yeah,
So,
he does a lot. He does a lot. He writes for a lot of people. He produces for a lot of people. Like
Mhm.
he's in his bag.
That's
So
it. That's a lot of artists, or I should say, well, no, artists in general, they do a lot of producing, and I guess I just see them as artists, but I also don't listen to a lot of the newer music either, so maybe that's why. But yeah, yeah, that's cool.
mhm.
That's interesting. Um, so what is your like go-to song, go-to artist, or style of music that you'll listen to if you're starting to feel down?
Um, so one of my favorite songs is a Drake song, but it just has so much like feel, and it takes me back to when I felt like this. But Jaded by Drake, it's just such an emotional song, and it's usually when I'm feeling some type of way in relationships. Um, but mm, I don't know, and it's always funny to me that we listen to sad music when we're sad. Like we should listen to happy music. But it's just like it just you feel it, like and sometimes that's what you need. Like you need to feel. And a lot of times we try to avoid that feeling piece, but it's like, no, let me just rock out and just
Yeah.
be in my room in my pajamas just singing to the air microphone and guitar. Like sometimes I need that. So I like to release in those ways where I'm actually just feeling and taking my feelings into consideration with the music choices that I pick.
Yeah. I am one of those people that listen to sad music when they're sad.
It's just
But
a
usually
vibe.
even
Like
sadder
it's just,
sometimes. But yeah, you just gotta let it out. Like
mhm.
I have been known to suppress my emotions. Um It's not even like something that I do consciously. It's like a subconscious thing. Like, okay, I already got a whole bunch of stuff to do. Like, I don't want to worry about this. But then I have the moments where I kind of like blow up, and I'm like, nah, I just need to deal with it, type
Yeah.
of thing. So,
It's healthy. It's healthy. Suppression is not healthy.
right,
Releasing is healthy.
right. Um, I also saw on your page that you like to cook.
Hmm.
What are some of your favorite meals to cook?
Well, my family is Belizean, so
What?
Belizean. So they're from Belize. It's like Central America, Barbados area.
Okay.
So um they're Belizean, and we cook a lot of like we eat the oxtail dinners and things like that. But there's this dish called garnaches, which is one of my favorite things to cook. It's like a picture like a crunchy taco, but with like a tomato sauce, and it's just on this like it's on this fried corn tortilla. You have the tomato sauce as a base that you put on top. Then you have beans and you have your meat. Now, some people put cabbage. I'm not into the cabbage stuff. It's like a vinegar cabbage. But we put cheese on top, and it's really really good. Simple to make. The sauce is the best part, which my dad passed his recipe on to me. So, yeah, I like that. And then of course, seafood. I'm a seafood person. And actually, my favorite meal will actually take me out. I have this, I used to cook this coconut curry shrimp, but in my adult years, I actually developed a allergy to curry.
Oh
So,
no.
yeah, I was actually, and I tested it out recently because I'm like, I'm not really allergic to curry. Like, y'all playing. But it actually, like, spotted my throat, and I was like, so, yeah, we don't do the curry no more. But
Mhm.
yeah, I love cooking. It's a form of art to me, and I like all things art, honestly. Anything that allows me to be creative.
Okay. I'm not a huge cooker. I mean, I can cook, but I work so much that I tend to not cook. I eat while I'm at work, and that's pretty much it. But I like to cook sometimes.
Yeah, same here. Like when I get to cook, it's cool. Like I'm probably gonna cook more since I'm off of school for a while. But I
Mhm.
also I used to live in Wixom, but now I just moved to Southfield, which I'm 8 minutes away from my mom, and they always cook. So they're like, "Oh, come over, we made steak," and I'm like, "Well, I guess I'll put these groceries away and save myself some money."
Yeah.
So yeah, it's been nice.
Okay. It's nice being closer to home. Does that help with you and your mom's relationship?
It definitely has, because I'm over there a lot more. I move closer so they can help with the kids.
Hmm.
So every day after work, I go pick the kids up from over there. After they get out of school, they get them, and then, I pick them up. And it's kind of created those, oh, you don't have to leave so quickly, just sit down, let's talk. And it's like, okay. And at
Yeah.
first it's like, no, I gotta go out of defense. But now it's like you linger and you start to build on conversation and you get used to the routine of it. And it's definitely helped a lot.
That's good. I'm glad. I know it takes a village, so
It does. I'm just
you
happy
have
that I got one now. Like in
to.
Wixom, it was very hard. Like I was paying so much for after school care so my kids can be somewhere while I work, and
Mhm.
I was paying car note money, so I'm so happy to have my family, and I definitely appreciate that.
Yeah, that's cool.
Hmm.
Kudos to you.
Kudos to mom. Kudos to
Yeah.
her.
Hand claps for her.
Bring back the old style of parenting. Like the grandparents, these grandparents, they be doing too much. Like no, spend time with your grandbabies. I'm gonna pick them up on the weekends. Like you know.
Yeah. I have a coworker, he talks about how he see his grandkids, like he'll go over there, but they can't come over to his house.
Nah, see, nah. My grandma was begging us to come over. Like, you bringing the kids today? You don't have to. They can stay here. Like those. That's the grandparents. Like
Mhm.
the grandparents of old.
Someone said, "Hey, cuz, is that for you?"
Oh yes, that's my cousin. Hey, you remember how grandma used to be? She was the pinnacle of the family. Mm-hmm.
So I saw on your Instagram as
Mm-hmm.
well that last year, it was a post from last year, that you were going into your soft girl. era, do you feel like you have accomplished that this year?
Absolutely not. we still heavy independent. Yeah. So I don't know if you've heard a song by Summer Walker called "Hard Life," but she hit it on the head. I feel like as Black women, especially like actually women, no Black women, because white women and other races they kind of got it down. I feel like we tricked ourselves out of our position. Like everybody, I wish I could find the woman that was like, we need to be independent. F these men. Like, sis, pipe down. Like, just pipe down a little bit. And I'm all for the career driven women. I'm all for striving to reach your goals. Like, I'm very much so goal oriented and just trying to make the best of my life. But you can't really be a soft girl in that. At least I haven't found the space to be a soft girl yet. I'm hoping to find it, but on the way up, it's very taxing. My time is limited, and I'm tired. So finding time to just be soft and relish in girl stuff, like just getting your nails and hair done and feeling pretty and just relaxing and being feminine. I find that very difficult at times, if I'm being completely honest.
Yeah. Look at this. I need to get mine done.
Girl, look at it. Look at that space between there. It's just, man, it's hard. It's hard, but I know it's also hard on our Black men. Shout out to the Black men, but it's very hard, and I feel like that kind of gets overlooked. How hard it is for Black women because they feel like we're complaining, but it is hard. And I wish all those city girls, like, you could have kept that in the club. Like,
Right.
This is not the whole. You don't speak for the majority.
Right.
We don't need that independent. Just sleep with a dude for money. Like, no, we need husbands. And we need softness,
Right.
and we need community. Like, no, I've always hated that. I even wrote in my journal about that. Like, who was the girl that said? I don't know if I can cuss, but like, who was the girl that said fuck niggas get money? Like, who said that dumb shit? I don't understand. Like, I really don't understand that mindset. But it's like, I'm really hoping that dies down, and that is why I do feel like, okay, I still need to make music because I want to kind of contribute to shifting that dynamic. I know I can't do it on my own, but I just want to talk about different stuff. Like, I don't want to talk about pussy popping on the handstand and like it's just I'm just tired. I'm just tired of hearing it. I'm tired of seeing it all the time. I'm tired of it being glorified. And even if, like, I always talk to my mom about this, like, back in the day they had freaky ass songs, like, they were freaky, but it wasn't blatant. Like, you would hear a song like that next song, step back, you dancing kind of close. Like, dude was hard, but it wasn't. People were just saying like, I slapped it on her, and like, it was just different. And I feel like now it's just so raw and raunchy, and it just paints an image of Black women that's, for me, honestly, it feels like it's going back to slavery auction times, where we're standing on the podium naked and selling ourselves to the highest bidder. And I don't like that.
Yeah, it's interesting because it seems like in general society has become more sensitive to different topics, like within the LGBT community and things like that, but our music isn't sensitized at all. So
yeah, because I don't know, because the industry is always going to promote the degradation of Black women. They're always going to promote the degradation of Black men. They're always going to promote substance abuse in the Black community. Like, that's a win. It's like, oh, you want to talk about this? Yeah, go ahead. Like, have all the kids singing it. That's how you keep passing it on to generation. It's like, yeah, we're going to give you the money to keep poisoning yourself so you never get out. And it's sad to see that that's the case. Like, we're very creative people, but it's like, we could talk about so many other things.
Yeah. I think it also comes from us allowing it to happen. We'll take a song like I don't know, some of the Sexy Red songs be out here, like My Booty Hole Brown, like that whole song.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know the whole song. I just remember that specific lyric. Um, but even with the City Girls, they talk about just using a man for his money, and then we have women out here posting on Twitter like, "Oh, if you take me to the Cheesecake Factory, like we can't date," and things like that. It's ridiculous.
Yeah,
So
there's a lot of foolery going on in the world. Lots of foolery.
yeah,
But
I
yeah.
definitely agree. Definitely agree. Well, go ahead and let everybody know where they can find you, how they can join your organization, and
Okay. You can find me here, obviously, on Instagram, naturally_jazzy. For my Black women, you can find me on Facebook. We have a Facebook group of 145 women, I believe now. It's called Healed Black Women. And yeah, I'm on Twitter, Naturally Jazzy as well. Oh yeah, and then my music is under Jazz E, so JAZ space E on everything. Spotify, iTunes, blah blah blah.
all right. Well, that's all the questions that I have for you. Do you have any comments, questions, or anything for me?
Other than your hair looks amazing. I was
Thank
looking at
you.
it like, yes, queen. Okay. My hair's
I
still a
didn't
little
do
wet. I'm
it.
trying to keep it like I want to keep the curl, but I'm like,
Yeah.
just stay how you look when you're wet. Just stay. So I've been trying to work with it. I just cut my hair recently and trying to grow my natural stuff.
Yeah.
So yes, kudos to your hair.
Thank you. I didn't do it. A friend did it because I don't have the patience to do these individual things at all. But yeah.
Natural hair is it's funny because it's like, oh yeah, you're doing your natural hair. It's because it's easier. No, it's not. It's a process. So, so yeah.
I thought wrong when I did the big chop. I'm like, I'm not gonna really have to do my hair. It's just gonna be natural, but it is a lot of work. So,
Well, you make it look great.
thank you. I appreciate it. And your hair is cute too. I don't
Thank
know
you,
if
girl. It's
but
got a little something, a little, a little something. Oh, thank you. It's cute. Yes.
me.
I
Get
tried locks, but somebody did me bold.
Ooh.
Yeah, I went to a shop and got them done, and they did me bold. My cousin actually did them right, but my scalp is so sensitive. I added hair to it, and it just like, yeah, it broke my whole scalp out.
Oh
So
no.
I might try again though, because I want something that's like, well, locks are maintenance too though. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it goes.
All right. Well, for everybody that is still tuned in, this will be posted on my YouTube tomorrow at 8 p.m. And then I have a video to post on Tuesday, and that will be posted on Spotify at 8. No, this one will be posted on Spotify at 8 p.m. And then it's going to be posted on my YouTube by 8:30. And then Tuesday, I have a video that will be posted at 8 on Spotify at 8 p.m. Video will be posted on YouTube by 8:30. That is all I really have for y'all though. I hope y'all enjoyed this live. Thank you for being the very, very first person to do a live interview with me.
Thank you. This was actually my first live
Yeah.
on Instagram. Like I've never done an Instagram live. I was like, is she supposed to add me or like am I supposed to push a button? So yes, this was fun. Like I really appreciate the platform and I'm excited for everything that you're gonna do with your podcast. So awesome.
And like I said, I appreciate you so much for joining me.
No problem.
Once again, everybody follow her and tune in all the Black women that I have in here. Even if there's a guy in here, y'all got Black moms. Let them know.
Yes, we accept aunties, cousins, exes. Tell them to come on in. Join Death Row. We ain't gonna be dancing all in the videos. Go ahead.
All right. Well, I will see you guys later. Have a great night.
Bye.
Bye.